Oh my God.
Can I just unsee all of that?
Did you see what she did?
They really are an absolute
What the fuck?
Did she actually say that?
Did you see that?
What do you always see the damnedest things?
Exactly. When you least expect it, there they are, doing it again.
I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a name. I just wanna be famous. Well, I don't want that cheap fame, no, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness.
You see what she did? What the fuck?
That's what it's all about.
Fuckery.
We're in this world, could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste it, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic.
Oh, y'all, this is Hollywood piece.
Did you see that?
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
It's brilliant. Fuckery.
Oh my God.
I got one thing to say. YouTube, fuck
You.
Mrs. Cassandra, you finished that so eloquently for me. Like timing. Welcome everybody. Before we get started, first, hello everybody who's here. Happy Saturday. Hope everything's going well. You know that. Hey, Brother Bob, did you have something that you wanted to bring forth?
Yes, I just wanted to say a very, very special guest of mine had a birthday yesterday. And
Oh,
I'm so sad to have to bring this a belated happy birthday to my hot, handsome friend Jungkook.
oh,
Now, if you just want to come on down to Brother Bob's Church of
oh no.
Love, Jungkook, I'll show you the best birthday present anyone could ever give you.
I know. I do think that he's got other plans though for his birthday. Do you think? Doesn't he have a partner? Nate, what did I just see something about that?
I'm not going to dignify that with a response. is.
It's like, I don't
Who
know.
wouldn't
He
come
is
down to Brother
adorable.
Bob's Church of Holy
He is
Love?
adorable, like, right? True, inexperienced, like exactly. Why not? Why not? And celebrate. You know the love. I have to say. Well, anyway, I hope Jean Cook had a great birthday. I hope he's still celebrating. Like, I really do. I actually like them now. Actually, Quiz. Like some of their songs get stuck in my head. At first, I wouldn't.
There is
Who
someone
is this
that does
quiz
the
you keep
K-pop.
speaking of?
I
My
don't know.
name is Brother Bob.
It's Saturday. Don't ask me to keep shit straight. Like
It's not
no,
mayhem though.
it's not.
Brother Bob is only
Yeah,
on
it's
mayhem.
right. Brother Bob's only on me. Like this is
But
like I'm
but
doing the
this
best I
this
can.
quiz you spoke of told me that I had
Okay.
to come tonight,
Okay. Well, I'm
which is
glad.
not a real problem because I come almost every night. But I'm here for you.
It just all of a sudden, it's mayhem. All of a sudden, I don't even know what to say to that except for Brother Bob. I'm really glad you're here. I'm also really glad you came, Kim and Mousy and Cass. And
Oh, I did.
oh, okay. Oh man.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
I'm
Okay.
here. Right.
I
I'm
know.
here.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're here. I got really. You hear this chat? I'm gonna have to be very careful with my language tonight. I think, and it's gonna be really rough. Although I wasn't ready for this. But
Oh, I like it.
yeah, I know, cause I'm like you got me all tongue tied already. Like I'm stuttering and I'm blah 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 blah. Like anyway.
Oh, is that
So,
what that is?
yeah, it
I
is.
was wondering.
You were wondering. I was preoccupied somewhere else at the time. I know. Don't say anything, MC Wrecker. I can already hear your voice, like with the jokes in my head. Like I know exactly what you would have said if you were up here. We miss you up here. We're gonna keep your seat warm. But
I
I'm gonna
just
put
got a DM from a very special friend of mine who wanted to know exactly how did you tie your tongue on?
carefully and with a lot of talent. Yeah. hmm Yeah. Yeah, careful. Smoreful? Wait, smareful. Careful, smareful is right, Choo-choo. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay. It is Fish Nerd. It's usually we're gonna do a whole like we have to have a sermon. Oh, by the way, channel announcement then before we get into some of our topics. Like next weekend we will not have a what the F. Like yeah, no, we won't. As sad as that is, we'll do an AITA instead. We have a guest, and so it should be pretty fun. So hopefully you all will enjoy that. And I do believe, with the grace of the panel and people who want to contribute, that if Brother Bob is up for it, we will have mayhem in 2 weeks and another sermon from our illustrious
Oh,
prophet.
I'm always ready to give one of my sermons to the
Our prophet of
people.
good cheer, good humor, good technique, and good vibes. Yes, definitely. Well, definitely. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for poor MC Sean Coffey. He's like really, he's not even up here tonight, and he's riding buckshot there in the chat. I'm sure he'll be giving us.
He'll just be naughty in the chat.
Just
That's
be
what Brother Bob wants.
Yes, that's his favorite thing to do. Yeah.
Be in the chat or be naughty.
Both.
But kind of both. He's the naughty in the chat. He's been very naughty on stream lately, on his kick streams. He's been very not naughty, but punny. Like everything's a double entendre. I'm just like cracking up, trying to do commentary is hysterical. Well, anyway, it is good to see everybody. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight. Now, I don't have a presentation, but I do have a couple of subjects. But before that, Kim, Mousy, Cass, everybody knows all of you, and Brother Bob. I'm just going to call you Brother Bob because that's what he says for the rest of the day. Brother, my brother here. Okay. There's been a lot going on. Like we didn't do what the F last week or the week, and I was following a few things, and then a lot of them they just seem totally ridiculous. Like they're not even funny anymore. Like to me, like believe it or not, I saw Sneako tweets in some clips, and Well, I did just laugh my ass off a little bit, and then it was like, of course, of course, that's what he said. Of course, that's what he did. Like it's almost like you could predict it at this point. So, does anybody know what I'm talking about with Sneako?
No, I don't. I
No.
totally forgot about him. I
Yeah,
never
I
heard about
know.
him before.
We
Yeah.
have,
Here.
yeah. He is like, he's like an Andrew Tate, sycophant, I would call him.
Oh,
Although
that's
Right.
he
right.
would say he's a Patreon of them. Long story short, Andrew Tate's brother Tristan kind of like nonchalantly passed the torch to him in a phone conversation, and he got all excited. This is a young kid with a big mouth and a bad attitude. And like sometimes he does, I will admit, say some reasonable things and do the right thing, but at the same time, he's just out there crazy in doing the wrong thing a lot. But
Didn't
actually,
didn't he
yeah.
eat something with his girlfriend?
Yes, that's the one who, like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot exactly because like I know it was something crazy. I remember
It was
having.
crazy that he watched his girlfriend have relationships with
That's right.
somebody else
That's
and was
what
Yeah.
it
telling
was.
everyone that they should do it, but at the same time got sick and had to leave the conversation and didn't really like it. Like he talks out of one side of his, mouth and then does the
That's
other
just
kind of thing.
well, whatever floats your boat.
Well, I guess, but it would be one
Mm.
thing if you actually believed what he said. But that's the problem with Sneako. He's kind of like unbelievable. He's kind of like chasing dreams. Like he said that Cuties was a good movie
Right.
about like not and would not acknowledge the fact that every actor in it was underage and had to actually reenact stages of sexual exploitation at that young age, even as an actress, while they were doing a movie about sexual exploitation of children in the business. And he refused to acknowledge the fact that they were actually underage children doing it, and it could have been done in a different way without exploiting the children. Again, while talking about exploiting children in the industry,
Yeah.
which was a big mistake on Cutie's part. Is probably what people were most upset about. Not that they talked about the issue, but how they were the issue as they talked about the issue.
Hmm.
Everybody kind of missed that point that a lot of those actors were 9, 10, 11 years old, highly dressed in sexual stuff and doing sexual things and all, while they're talking about how that's not the right thing to do. They were having them do it,
Right. Yeah. They were
Yep.
very young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
No, Beaver unit. We see you.
We all see you. There's no, we see you. Just I wasn't reading the chat yet, but welcome to everybody joining. It's good to see everybody. Yep. Well, Beaver, that's nice, but like, come on, come on.
It's
All right,
fun to say.
so it's just fun to say. Okay, but so he got on the wrong side of a few things. He's made some commentary. He's all with Fit and Knob. I call them Knob and Drip or whatever their names are. I can't remember. But is a very misogynistic, Andrew Tate kind of message about everything. Goes into the red pill in part, very matrix oriented. But anyway, long story short, like besides his history with all of that, he actually came out this week and said that he's given that all up. Like that stuff's old hat. The Matrix doesn't exist. It's all conspiracy. Yeah, it's kind of like he's not really interested in any of that anymore. You know what he wants to do? He wants to do point and laugh commentary, kind of like the What the F show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
No.
The first thing I thought is like, Sneako, you're like regular content on those shows. Like now you want to do
Right?
that? Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. So
Hey,
like,
won't you watch us
yeah.
talk about you and laugh at you?
Exactly. It's just like, are you going to comment on your own actions there? Like, it's going to be pretty funny. So I did think that was like hysterical. So I did decide to bring it up because I thought that was pretty funny that he wants to actually do the parody commentary, the point and laugh, like, isn't this like so weird it's true, but this is ridiculous kind of stuff on social media. And I was just laughing my ass off. Thank you. Somebody likes me. I know who that was. Thank you, brother.
Anytime, I'll
Thank you.
always have Records back.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no, you're gonna have to
He
move me
wants
over.
to. Yeah, she's glued to him, so you better.
I am.
Well,
We
if you're
are
gonna take his back,
different.
I'll take his front.
Yeah,
No.
actually, you're gonna have a hard time. Like, he owns all of it, so I don't know. I don't know, but he's a free person. Like like he's just like streaming with them. He's really funny. So anyway, well, that was my thing about Sneako because there's really not much else to say really about Sneako. But we've talked about quite a few of these larger social media presences that call themselves like influencers, or I don't even know what to call anybody who gets their name in social media like this anymore. For what? They all do it for different reasons. Like, can anybody think of how Sneako actually got famous? Like, I don't know. Besides the connection to Andrew Tate, I have no idea why
That's
anybody was listening to him.
that
Mm-mm.
is the only connection I know of. Was the Tate connection.
That's it. Just like, because he was like, passing on the message and he thought it was good. I mean, he has actually, been on panel with quite a few, contrary people.
Well,
Like Alex Jones, right?
if
And
you
I
ask
think
Google, Google says that he got famous because of his commentary and motivational videos that he posted on TikTok and YouTube.
yeah, TikTok was what I did read this somewhere
Yeah.
that TikTok was his main thing first. Motivational, what is he trying to tell everybody? Like anyone can sell
Right.
shit because there's always somebody out there that'll buy it. Like what is that it? Like really, I don't motivational. Well, I will say that it did fit that young man, that angst young man trying to fit into American society right now with like, pressure and, employment issues and, acceptability and all of the pressures. He kind of does tote that, the pressures of being a young man in today's society thing that Andrew Tate tries to take advantage of. So I could see like how he got hooked up and all of that. But in a way, I'm kind of happy he's moving away from it because it shows that maybe, maybe he can be funny. Maybe he can really do something inspirational to people that want to make a difference. Because I don't think Andrew Tate was the way to do it. Actually,
No.
I don't really think so. Because although they may have boosted a lot of people's confidence in how to do things in a way, it did have this failure aspect to it. There was a behind the scenes kind of message from Andrew Tate that I to this day still find quite damaging, especially to the young men of America and other countries that are listening, because he basically tells you if you can't be exactly like me, you're a failure, and the top percent is only 1%, so forget it. And he kind of has this winning at all costs kind of attitude, forgetting that people have to live with the consequences
Right.
of actually achieving that and or failing at it. So he's really not preparing you to get along in the world. He's preparing you to get along in a very small part of the world that Andrew Tate wants the world to be like. But that's not basically, the best way for every individual, especially these young men, especially with depression and, difficulties in relationships and employment and family things and just in general society, And I know that sounds odd coming from, a woman who's lived through like, non-equality and having to fight for everything. I know that sounds odd, but I see it. I'm going to talk about it because I see it. I see my brothers go through it. I see my partners go through it. I get the societal pressures that are put on them too. Just even being a man anymore seems to be like a curse any day. Like it's all a man's fault. It's all a man's fault. That it's not. Just like it's not a woman. Women are just not whiny, crybabies either. This all like very narrow-minded thinking. They are going through a lot.
World.
Yeah, but I just don't see Sneako being the savior. Do you guys? I just don't see him
No.
like pulling it out. I just don't.
No.
not with that cornball stuff you did with Charlie with waving the gun around, like I don't know.
Oh, that I totally forgot. See, that's what it was
I
too that I was
know.
Yeah.
talking about. Forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is when I miss record because he was so good with all of that. Like he went in on Sneako, like he was like behind the scenes making rap challenges at him and stuff. Like he was all over that.
Hey, T
Yeah.
King, we've missed you too.
Hi, T King. It's so good to see you. And welcome, Teresa. I just saw you come in. Who
Hey,
is that?
Jasper.
Hoobs Groove. I kind of like the way that sounds. Hoobs Grooves. There's a nice name. It's cool. Emipit, it's good to see you. I'm sorry if I missed anybody like coming in, but Sean, I see you got here. I think that's nice. But I don't know. Sneako, not that many people know about him. We've talked about him a few. I've noticed that some of the people that follow a lot of the stuff on my trial, on the trials and stuff like that, you don't know a lot of the larger social media people because like they're ridiculous, and why would you follow them? So it's like it gets to be kind of funny that I get to bring this stuff to you guys and introduce you to some of the weirdest people out there on YouTube. Although a lot of them don't have channels anymore. Yes, Record is one of the things that he said that really pissed me off the most. This is why I don't believe in the message of Andrew Tate. Depression doesn't exist. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Andrew Tate has to just be just a top troll. Like he has to just be doing it just to do it. Like there's no way he believes in himself.
Yeah. I can't believe that he actually, because he does have a mother and a sister, and like he has to have a relationship. He could not possibly tote that line successfully with people he actually cares about. Seriously.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. Which is why it makes me like him even less, because he doesn't even believe the message that he's toting and he's selling for profit. He's just a glorified MLM, really. And that's why he doesn't have a YouTube channel, because that's what they were starting to put it at. And now we've got a legal case with him. And he's actually telling people there's nothing to the legal case and that it's well documented. And he's saying there's no evidence out there against him. And it's his own videos. And he's saying they're taken out of context. When no, it's a whole video on how to make the money on your girlfriend being a sex worker. Okay. It's a how-to video, step by step, basically. There's not taking that out of context when that's what you're being charged with.
No.
In a criminal investigation of Romania. So I don't know. Like he's a big word spinner. He's very good at it. I'll tell you that. He's reminds me of a few other contrarians who are out there with big followings, just twisting everything. Like some people will believe anything. You don't have to look too far to find the bullshit in Andrew Tate.
But I seriously think he does it just because he knows people are just gonna blindly follow him.
It is, but basically it was for money. It was kind of creative how he did it.
Yeah,
because
for money.
He got to stay on Twitter and platforms because he didn't promote it as much himself. You paid to join, and then to stay in and make money, you promoted it. You took his articles and talked about him and put it all over. So it would be thousands of accounts doing it instead of just one. So they couldn't get really taken down for terms of service and things like that. But what happened was he would do interviews on a lot of different YouTube channels, and they started getting heat about their content if he was on. But he didn't actually have a channel that got taken down because he didn't do it. He went in on other people's channels to do it. And he did the same thing with Twitter and all the other platforms. He actually, whoever buys into the program, you promoted it. It was part of what you did in the pyramid scam on how you made money promoting his content and all his how-to videos on how to survive as a man in this world by stepping on everybody. There's a bigger message there. It wasn't really just about women, although it really is against a lot about women. It was more about everybody. It's like there are winners and losers, and if you're going to be the winner, you need to take everybody else out. And I don't know. I know that that's probably a big notion in business and war, but life is not business or war. Okay, to get along in life, you got to kind of do something a little bit in between. So I couldn't really agree with anything he was talking about. He's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. I spent weeks bashing Andrew Tate. Just like
some of it was funny as far as like there's just no way this dude is listening to himself and like believing it. So
Right.
yeah,
That's what I couldn't get over. Like, how
yeah,
does he believe what's coming out of his mouth?
there's no way he does. He's just
No.
doing it for the money.
this is like, definitely why he's so dangerous. Like Becker is saying that it makes him dangerous because he says agreeable stuff, but mixes his delusions in with his followers' sense of reality. Kind of like, well, if you got that right, then everything must be right, kind of thing. Because it's true. Like some of the stuff can definitely be, some of the stuff can definitely sound a little reasonable. Especially when he's dealing with, people getting ahead and things like that. It makes it so dangerous. It really does. Okay. Well, just looking. You guys are great in the chat. You're making me giggle, but I'm not putting some of that stuff up. Just not gonna. Yeah. You guys always make me giggle.
Beaver's Unit's love for you.
Yes, I know. It's always so heartwarming to know that your love for me is being compared to a diarrhea attack. Like,
right.
It's like, I get what you're saying, though. It's like, lovely.
Isn't that painful, though? Like,
very.
If you try to hold it in, it is.
Yeah.
Very.
Give it up. Just let it flow. You'll be better off.
That's what she's saying. She's saying she cannot hold her love for you because it would hurt too much if no one knew how much she loved you.
I just don't know. I just don't know. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a lovely doo-doo, apparently. I know. Oh, it is funny, but it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And I see you in green because you got gifted membership. And there's gonna be a community post coming out soon. So many people got gifted memberships, and what I'll do is a membership only post so that you see it with my Discord ID so that you guys can, get your stuff together for checking out the Discord in a limited way to see if you actually want to become full-time members at a later date. And anybody who did join actually non-gifted wise, the same would be for you. If you see that, it's going to be a membership post, because I figured that's the easy way to do it without like thousands of people hitting up my Discord. Can you imagine? I get thousands of people hitting up my Discord DMs. So no. No. Okay, like, who are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I try to keep it all straight. I do. Cool.
When is maybe Brother Bob can ask quiz? Like, when is the next game night?
That's it's summertime. I don't know.
Brother Bob has game night every night. It's that ladies aren't invited to those games.
That's what I get. I knew. I knew better.
Quiz, on the other hand, I hear he likes to play games with no matter who it is. So, well, I imagine now that it's past September 1st and we can all stop wearing white like we could wear it before.
I know, right?
My,
that couldn't. No.
I would imagine that now the summer is over, according to those in the East Coast, we should start talking about doing that again.
Yeah, we should. We should, like, I don't know if we should do like a steady one or just like randoms. Like, another thing I wanted to say is like I am restructuring in the Discord a little, so it's a little disruptive right now, but I'm trying to work out the tags for certain things that we do. But there's some ideas people have come forward. They want to do like video streaming or a movie things every once in a while. They want to have more games periodically, specific types of games. I think those in the Discord, or you hear us talk about Duo with friends a lot. Like, there's that one. We do have a golf challenge going on with other server. That's a lot of fun.
Would that be over at Mallory's Asylum?
That would be over at the Boot Queens asylum,
Whatever
yes.
happened to that first golf challenge that you all did with them?
Well, you know me. I'm a humble bear. But since you're here and Recker's here, and I know Charlie would want me to say it, let's just say we won every damn game. We
Oh
won every,
my!
yeah, we won every damn game. We were
How
called nerds.
impressive!
We were called nerds and obsessive and all that other stuff. And yes, we owned it. We practiced. We organized. We were a commiserate team, and they pulled me out of my what the effery because anybody who's played games in the discourse knows I could be very competitive. Like let's just call it what it is. I'm damn horrible. I'm absolutely aggressively horribly competitive when it comes to games. To the point,
Really?
yeah, to the point I tell
That's a
you.
shocker to me.
Is it? Really, Brother Bob? Because your friend Quiz had to talk me off a ledge I don't know how many times. It actually, these guys, I have to tell you, like, they really, not only did they teach me how to play a video game because I am the worst. I have no coordination whatsoever, hand-eye coordination.
Well, I don't think you're the worst because I know 4
No.
people who are worse than you that day.
We're at the asylum. I'm sorry. I loved playing them. And actually, when we were all goofing off, we had a good time afterwards. And they are some really good players. They really do. They just, we took it like really seriously. We did. And I did get pretty good. And we learned all our shots. And they taught me how to concentrate. But what they taught me the most of that I'm so grateful for, all 3 of them, I give them a nod and a big hug.
Is that stamina matters even in playing games?
Yes, stamina matters, but also humor. Because I was taking it too damn seriously. And once I lightened up, I had a great time. I played better. I enjoyed myself. And now I'll play golf with friends with anybody who wants to play. Anybody? Like, yep, I'll play.
Is that
like,
gonna
I'll
be
play
the
video
same
game.
for? Is that gonna be the? Oh my goodness, what is that word? The code names. Is that gonna be the same in code names? You're gonna calm down in there too.
Well, if you guys would come to the games and find out, Bob, I think Brother Bob can attest that it's been a kinder, gentler bear during games. Like, I'm actually just having a good time. Yeah.
Well,
I do like to win.
Oh, you wanted me
I
to
can admit,
comment on that.
Yeah, I can admit it is not in my DNA to lose.
It's not in my DNA to lose either. I want to win, and I probably will do everything to win, but I'm going to be nicer about it.
As I understand, whenever Quiz is playing duo, he just goes with the flow and never has a problem with people.
Bullshit. Oh, that's not true. He smacked the hell out of me out of cards every chance he gets. And please, listen, that's true, though. He's very easy to get along with as long as you don't take his favorite spot. Don't take his spot at the table. He's got a seat that he sits at that table, and if you take that spot, you got hell to pay. I did it last week, and I got
right behind Jogger. That's where he likes to be.
No, that wasn't it. It wasn't. He doesn't fight me on that one. Nope. It was somewhere else. And I'm just gonna say, he gave me what for, boy. Yeah. I won't do it again. I'm just joking. But no, we have fun. The point being that is one of the benefits of the Discord is that we do have game night. Thanks for bringing it up, Mrs. Cassandra. We want to get, summer's been tough. I'm on the shore, and I got to tell you that we celebrate this weekend different than everybody else. If you guys all do Labor Day, we celebrate. Thank you, tourists. Get the hell out of here. Like, we got our beaches back, our restaurants back. We can go to the store without like triple lines. Traffic is better. Like, goodbye congestion. We can breathe. Like the town is now ours again. Like, we're very, very happy.
What brings people to the Jersey Shore?
The beach, the bars, the music. I mean, it's kind of between. Here's the thing about the Jersey Shore. It's between New York and Philadelphia and drivable to both to any of them.
Yeah.
And
let's not forget, there's a local chapter of Brother Bob's Church of Holy Love there.
There is. Okay. There is. Okay.
And all you hot beach boys are welcome to come on in.
Exactly. Well, I don't know anybody who lives near a tourist. I mean, anybody who lives near a beach, touristy area, vacation area, you probably go through the same thing.
We're
during
ready
the
for.
Oh, what happened to Kim? Oh well. That we didn't do that, Kim. Your internet or something
Oh
just
no.
went. If you can hear us, she's just like whoop, like all the way gone, like not just at the bottom.
She's
should-
having
Yeah, the
storm.
weather here has been.
She'll
Is
be
it
back
bad?
if she can get back.
What's that, Mousy? Were you saying that the weather there is bad? Like you're close to where she is too? Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
Think we
like the
lost.
weather here the last few days has just been really bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just between the rain and the hurricane stuff coming through, it's been up, down, left, right. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Kim, you were in the middle of saying something. What
I
happened?
know.
You got
I just-
censored.
Well, no, we've been having storms off and on all day, and so I'm kind of glitchy tonight. But yeah, we're ready for everyone to leave. Just go home.
Yeah. Is that it? Like,
Yeah.
because
I
you
second-
also
I-
live in a vacation area,
I
right?
third that. Like being in the capital, being the capital of the state it sucks
Oh yeah.
because people just want to come here and it's like go away. It's not special. It's Cowtown, okay? Get out of here.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing
now I
special.
have like
It's boring.
now I have like maybe a month and a half, 2 months before all the snowbirds start coming down.
Oh yeah, great. Wow. Because they will, right? Like that's in Florida too. Like they have a big transition, especially from
Yeah.
this part of the Eastern Seaboard goes down to Florida for the winter and then comes back up here for the spring, in the summer. But I'm happy to have it. Like not that I go to the beach a lot, like because if you were born and raised here, like the beach is not like that much of a fascination to you anymore. Although I do love to walk the boards or go out on the fishing pier. I love the ocean, the largeness of it, the power of it. It's a beautiful thing. But to lay out on a beach and bake and get sandy myself, like no, not my thing. You know. But
I hear isn't like the Coney Island beach like pretty nasty.
Well, that's in New York. I can
Yeah, I
attest
know
to that.
that.
Or is Coney Island New York or Rhode Island or Staten Island? I don't know. It's not New
oh.
Jersey. That I know. I'm
No.
terrible with geography. Like I'm gonna sound dumb right now. I'm terrible with that.
I
Okay.
can't remember what it is. I know.
But they have a lovely amusement park. Coney Island's
Yes.
famous for this huge pier. Like, and we used to have a huge pier here close to me in Long Branch, but it burnt down. And then we had the one down in Seaside Heights. We had like amusement piers and everything. I think most of the games and stuff before you get to like south, like Wildwood, would be.
Wasn't one of the roller coasters like in the ocean from Sandy?
Yeah. Thank you, Paula. She said that Coney Island is in Queens, New York. So.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hello,
A lot
Paula.
of
good to see you.
A lot of the shore boardwalk amusement parks and stuff that were built out from boardwalks off the beach, so to speak, did get destroyed in some of the bigger hurricanes that we had, especially the last ones. Yeah. The amount of damage that was done in the area made it like very difficult for rebuilding to be done for things like that, because the area was so decimated. They weren't really going to be building up the amusement things or the tourist area as much right away. So, because like all the restaurants were gone, everything was gone. So, like, who's gonna want to come here just to do nothing? You know?
Isn't I think. Well, I brought that too because I think with Coney Island, it has the cyclone. I think it's called, but I think that's gonna be like 100 years old soon.
Yeah. And like, you know, a lot of movies use Coney Island amusement park, you know, and there's a lot of mob stuff like, you know, Queens and New York and Jersey and Pine Barrens down south and all. Well, you know, I just say like
a lot of the warriors were out at Coney Island.
Didn't they use that as a backdrop? Isn't that part of the like the closed park?
Come out to play.
I like the way I like the way he said
to play.
Exactly. The way he said play at the end. Like everybody knows that one, right? Like there are movies like that
every time
just get you. Yeah.
I think of Coney Island, like I think of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
My
I was
brothers watched it so much.
yeah.
So much.
I like anything mob oriented like that. So when The
Me
Sopranos
too.
used actual houses in Montclair, real stories in real stores in Nutley, like the pork store is a real pork store in Nutley that they use the front of, like, and everything. And then they were actually using Asbury Park, the convention center, when they were doing stuff. They actually used
Yeah.
Pine Barrens footage. Like they used like real stuff. It was kind of cool. And then there was that one that had um Steve Buscemi in it, the Empire. Okay, Boardwalk Empire, which was about another big mafia invasion stuff, and was about Atlantic City and the development of Atlantic City and some other gambling places during a big what we would call a mafia heyday of taking over some of the bigger enterprises and stuff. And they just used a lot of the Atlantic City and Asbury Park footage there, real to life boardwalk scenes and everything. It was kind of cool. So yeah, I liked it. Cool. But on that note, it's good to hear that we're going to be doing games again in the Discord. Like that was a long way. That was a long way around to say that. But I'm glad to hear that Quiz, our game master, will be back organizing some things, and also in the Discord that they'll be popping up regularly. You realize with so many people, it's very hard to find one day where everything's going to be good for everybody. So it's good that you could just do these pop-up things and socialize a little bit. That's mostly what we do in the Discord, is some games. And also we're going to be promoting more discussions. There are so many cases that we're following on the more serious stuff on the channel in true crime, that there are more things that people want to discuss that we always get a chance to discuss out here on YouTube. And that Discord is very active on that too. There's always stuff being dropped on cases almost every day from Twitter, from the documents themselves or other people's YouTube videos or podcasts, to keep everybody up to date on stuff. So it's a really good way, if you like that kind of stuff, to interact with other people who do also. So yeah, we'll be doing that too, and having some more conversations on it, because I do miss my legal conversations. Yeah. And then quiz. So old brother Bob could probably pass this on to him too, because I'm very thrilled with Quiz, because Quiz will actually talk politics. He's one of the few people on the planet that will talk politics with me. I'll go running for the hills. So I totally admire that. We get to do that a little bit too, and we've got a room for that in the show. For that also. But so is there anything that anybody else saw on the internet that you thought was actually hilarious? And I'm talking to you in chat too, people. Like you could put something there too. Anything that you saw bizarre, like that just made you just tilt your head a little this week?
So bizarre.
So bizarre. Yeah. It doesn't have to be so bizarre, but like just something that made you tilt your head.
Nobody.
Man. Okay. Now I know
I've been on vacation all
my
week.
head back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
I've been on
I
vacation
would like
this
to bring
week.
up a certain Texas Republican,
Okay.
Oh, no.
Which one? Because there's so many.
Mr. Randy
so many.
Weber.
Why are we
Mr.
bringing up him?
Because
Well-
Mr. Randy Weber, a House Republican, introduced legislation banning offshore abortion.
I
Saying
did
this
see that.
in his Twitter feed, abortion boats should never float in federal waters. That is why I introduced a bill banning offshore abortions. This practice is morally and ethically reprehensible.
He's right. I saw the tweet. It's an actual tweet. He really said that.
He did. He went
about
there.
On a boat. Like that's
Yeah.
a chat. What? Like, oh my God. Like, oh yeah.
Well,
They just keep getting
maybe
me. Only in
Mr. Randy
Texas.
should realize that as a state senator or representative, He
Mm-hmm.
has no voice over what goes on in international waters or even in federal waters.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well,
No,
and
there's all
you get
different
to a
laws, aren't
point.
they?
Yeah, you
Oh,
get
yeah,
to a
there's
point not
different
far
laws
off.
there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get to a point where you're now in international waters.
Yeah, 15
exactly.
miles out is international waters,
Exactly.
which they can't do anything about it. Even the United
No,
States government can't do anything about it.
nothing.
Can somebody explain to me what waters Texas borders on that they have any control over? Like what?
The Gulf
The
of
Gulf of
Mexico,
Mexico?
Okay, so
that's
and they get
all.
15 miles out, and they're going to try to ban
No,
abortion
well,
15
hold
miles out
on. We
on.
have to understand one thing. The Gulf of
Yeah.
Mexico is federal control,
Federal.
Oh,
not
so okay, here we
state.
go.
It is federal control. So the state of Texas has no control at all on the
No, none.
waters that
None.
board up to its state.
That's
They
ridiculous.
don't even have control over the rivers that run between Texas and Mexico.
No, they don't.
This is ridiculous. You know what's really ridiculous about that? Like Texas doesn't have a lot of other things going on that need to address. Like the weather has really made most of that state have much higher bills than usual in just
Oh, yeah.
maintaining that the health crisis that's going on right now from heat stroke and everything else, and people just trying to get into hospitals and not being able to get care, like just ridiculously. And looking at the unemployment, and I'm saying he's worried about what people are doing on a boat out there. Really? Like that's
Yeah.
his main concern. Okay. Well, I think he needs to get his priorities straight. Like
I
I hope the
agree.
people of Texas are paying as much attention as we are to that damn mess. That was
Well,
ridiculous.
he
Yeah.
did get some pushback on it.
Did he get
He will.
ratioed? I hope he got ratioed. What did the tweet look like, Brother Bob? Did he get like annihilated?
Well,
Hopefully.
to be honest, I didn't even read it after that. I was like, well, here we go. Another state representative from Texas who doesn't know anything.
I would
Yeah.
imagine
I
he got
wonder if
ratioed.
he's related to the man who said, if English is good enough for Jesus, then it's good enough for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. And I tell you, and I wonder if he's speaking out because even though there's, like you say, there's federal waters and everything like that, I'm looking at the one point that Aaron makes too, that they did get special, privileges because to become a state because they were so contrary about everything. However, this the actual issue of abortion alone is already going up to the Supreme Court. They kicked it to the states, which makes it like maybe an issue there. Maybe that's what he's like hooking into. I don't know. But it's still ridiculous because it's not like there's an overwhelming problem of people out on boats running
Right?
abortion clinics.
No.
Okay. If you find one, I want to know about it because I don't think any exist. I think this is a made up problem to try to trump a belief that he has, to try to put it out there to go to a certain voter and to not actually handle any of the issues that really Texans need to hear about. So I do hope that, individually Texans will start looking at these people using these issues to just rebel raise instead of actually handling your issues that actually will make a difference in your life. Because I assure you, that boat out there is not going to make a difference in your life. Yeah. And to remember, they work for you. Even those idiots, they're tweeting that shit. They
That's
work for
true.
you. They work for you. So tell them you're not happy. I've been feeling sorry for a lot of the people in Texas lately when I look at their representatives and the crap that they're doing. Actually, it's like they forgot about the people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like some Texans. I do. I don't like Texas representatives very well. I haven't met one in office right now that is actually representing their people fairly. To be honest, I don't believe so. But that's a personal opinion. Who is the brother Bob on the piano? I am loving how he is talking. I love it too. But would you like to answer that, brother Bob? Who are you?
Well, Brother Bob is just Brother Bob, of course. I own and operate the Church of holy love and would like
Mhm.
to invite all those hot, handsome men to come on down and get serviced. We'll do a great job for you.
Yep. Okay. Mhm. All righty. I can see. Now, I think that we should have more Brother Bob. I need more Brother Bob in my life. Wrecker is telling me that he thinks he read that there were actual plans for a floating clinic. And that might be what prompted this tweet from this guy. But
Oh, it could be.
could be.
Which is okay because if
Mm.
he's 15
Yep.
miles out, it
Wrecker knows
ain't
how
gonna
I rolled. He
matter.
just dropped the article. So I would say it's true. It comes from NPR in the review section.
Oh,
Well, thank
yeah.
you, Wrecker. You're supposed to be doing math, dude. But thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're listening. I'm actually flattered because you're usually much too busy for us right now. But I get it. I get thank you very much because I did not find this article yet. Wow. It is like a month old too,
Yeah.
Brother Bob. Yeah.
Mm.
Month and a half.
Oh, because you know why? It's a California activist who could not
Oh,
actually find a clinic that would still perform services, even in a blue state. Like the services are actually, becoming less and less. So they wanted to actually find a way where they couldn't be interfered by states and that the people would be safe from state prosecution. And that's where it's all coming from. Because they believe that if they have the actual clinic doing the services outside of state lines, no one would be able to actually regulate what happens on that boat.
Well, as
They
you
may have
know,
a point. They may have a point. It may
as you
be
know,
a
though,
way.
Texas has started taking up bills saying if you go out of state to get an abortion and when you come back in, you will be charged with murder, even though it
There,
didn't happen in
yeah,
this state.
yeah, and that is going to become Supreme Court issues of
oh,
violations
yeah.
on individuals' rights. I mean, the state does have a right to say how they want people to obey their laws, but this is a much bigger issue than that. I can see a lot of pushback going to be happening. Although I have seen cases, a mother and a daughter are both in jail right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and serving
They
because the
are.
mother drove her there and gave permission for it and had a service. And then when they went back to the state, they found out about it. People turned them in. Not only did those people get a reward for turning them in, and then they got charges put on them and they're in jail. Because the law does exist, because the Supreme Court allowed the states to make these ridiculous laws. But here's the thing. They can't make these ridiculous laws without people helping them pass them.
Right.
So I just want to remind everybody who voted to say that a young girl should be sitting in prison right now for saying that she has a right to her own body choice. You gotta really think about that. Your belief, okay, is now interfering on others. And do you really want to be the kind of person who actually is affecting everybody else's life because they don't believe the same as you? Like, I do ask everybody to take a double look at this. I think you have a right to believe what you want about whether that should happen or not. But for you to make the decision for someone else about it, really? Who the hell do you think you are? Because your own belief system that you are hiding behind is against that. You are no greater than the person standing next to you, regardless of what you believe. And so to me, it's not a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of personal respect to individuals and humanity, even in itself. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I take a lot of shit for this on my channel. I really do. I get a lot of private DMs calling me some horrific names because I think people have a right to choose for themselves. But I really do. I think that everyone has a right to choose their lifestyle, their partner, and what they do with their own body. And as long as they're not hurting anybody else, who the hell are you to tell them they're wrong? What belief do you have that is so much greater than any other's personal rights? Really, seriously. Because if you're allowed to do it, I tell you this, and you're not going to like it, and I can hear the DMs now, so get ready. But if you're allowed to say that about that, then why can't a pedophile come out and say he's got the right? Huh? It's about personal harm. It's about consequence. You're causing harm. That's what I got to say about that. You don't want that, though, right? You don't want anybody else to have the right above all else to say that things
let me
should
ask
be.
it this way without invoking pedophilia. How about we just make women wear hijabs all day long from now on?
Oh, yes, it's
And,
true.
and have to wear dresses that cover you from the collarbone to the ankle because, men, they can't control themselves if they see a part of a woman's body, and it would be the woman's fault for showing that part of her body. And us weak men sorry, you weak men would just faint when you saw a woman's elbow or knee. You would just go into ravaging. Now, we don't blame the man for ravaging the woman. We blame the woman for showing a certain part of her body. So why don't we do that too, since we're going to get all religious and make laws based on religion?
They do. In those countries, they have serious laws about it. Like, serious laws about it. As a matter of fact, women get put to death if they get violated against their will. Because they disgrace their family. That all they did was, like, be someplace. Be a woman. Apparently it's a crime. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be so heavy about like that, but it does kind of weigh on me because people make it my issue when you jump in my DMs and call me horrible names. And yet I would like any of you to actually say what I actually think about it. Besides, everybody has a right to choose yourself. Do you actually know whether I think I would do it or not? No, you don't. And you don't bother to find out, do you? Because all I'm talking about is equality here and about people crossing the lines on what they tell other people to do. And how that's a really dangerous thing for our country. It is the most dangerous thing for our country. And it is most paramount as to why the separation of state and church has to exist. And why our forefathers thought so also. Okay, and I kind of, stand behind it. It's not a legal issue. It's a belief issue. And it doesn't belong in legislature. Period.
Brother Bob wants to remind everybody who is listening now and later that his good friend, High Inquisitor, would love for you not to bother Claire Bear with your opinions. Instead, you should take them to High Inquisitor because he will be happy to talk to you about all these things for as long as you desire.
Let's just say about the equal rights issues in general on all levels. Take it to quiz. Like, he'll go around with you. He's much better at it than me. I just get mad and take a bat to your head, to tell you the truth. Really, I'm so tired of it right now. Really. But, yeah, quiz has got it for equality. And I appreciate you having my back, quiz. But I can actually take the heat now because I don't believe I'm being unreasonable. And I think the people that are giving me the heat are the unreasonable ones because they refuse to see both sides of the issue. And I guarantee you I am. I can tell you I'm standing on the fence on this one and telling you all to just knock it off because, like, equality is what matters. Personal body autonomy. Nobody wants that taken away. Okay. Nobody does. Nobody wants to be forced to do something with their body against their will. And it goes on all levels. Okay. And the only reason I brought up the P word is because that's an issue most of us would all agree on. That is not right and that it shouldn't be. And that the people that do it are just wrong and they can't, like, you don't want to have their belief system imposed on the rest of society because it's bad for society, right? And so that's why I chose that. Not to be a contrarian, not to just excite riot into the conversation, but because I do believe that most of us would agree the same about it. That you got to protect a vulnerable population like children Okay.
May I expound a little on this subject?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd like to also cover the other half. Folks, I watched a video today covering those wonderful people called MAGA, and the host of the video implied that we should not allow them to vote because they were voting for someone as stupid as that. And I immediately said, you can't do that. I don't care which side you come from. The minute you start taking someone's right to vote, you take away all of our rights to vote. And the minute you start taking away body autonomy from
Mm-hmm.
anyone, you take it away from everyone. So just think about this. If you were having an appendicitis attack and you went to your doctor and your doctor said, no, you're not. And since I'm a doctor, I get to decide whether you get to have surgery or not. Are you just going to say, well, okay, and go home? Or are you allowed to go see another doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't care what you think about abortion, miscarriages, whatever. It is the woman's right to choose. You don't have to be happy with her choice, but it is her choice.
It is.
As a matter of fact, I'm betting a lot of these women would carry that child if someone would come along and pay for it, and if somebody would come along and adopt it after birth. But why don't they do that? Oh, but
They don't.
wait, we only want to protect the unborn children. We don't want to protect those who are still alive today. And I can prove that easily by saying, why don't you get rid of guns in schools?
True. Like you really want to protect lives, and it's all about, population and, not, saving lives. There's so many ways to save the lives that are already here. But I agree with you, not to get all political. But of course, the whole thing turned political. And once this comes up, it's really hard not to talk about it. So I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable.
Well,
But
I've been
before,
hanging around Inquisitor too long, and
no, not true.
every once
Hey,
in a while I just go off.
I don't blame you, and I'm with
Now,
you on it. I'm
especially as that
100%.
problem one ends in the Brother Bob's
I
Church of
know.
Holy Love.
Aaron does incite you. I know he does. He does. But you're right, because actually the unborn is a very convenient platform for people because it doesn't cost anybody anything. Not a single senator, congressman, or anybody out there, churchgoer, or priest, prophet, anything you want to call them. Anybody on the pro or the con of this issue, it doesn't cost them a damn thing to support the unborn. The unborn doesn't cost you anything. You know what does? The elderly, the sick, the underprivileged,
The starving,
the starving,
the
the
homeless.
children, the homeless. Okay, these are problems that cost money. So I ask you, on your legislators, tell them to keep their damn personal beliefs about a woman's body to themselves and actually get to the business of governing. Because I assure you, I've lived all these years without them having to govern my body, and I'm pretty fine. I'm okay. And I voted, and I contributed to society, and I paid my taxes, and I didn't need them to tell me what was right or wrong to do with my body at the time. So if they would just get off of it, leave my damn uterus alone, and get to the business of governing the way they should, I think we'd all be happier. And y'all should start thinking about your votes that way. Believe what you want, but know that your personal beliefs do not belong in legislation for all the people, because it's about all the people. You're going to have to admit that 70% of our country doesn't feel the way you do in regards to legislation. They may agree with you about whether you should or should not, or whether they would or would not end a life that way. They may. But what they do agree is that you don't have the right to tell other people what to do about it. Okay? And it shouldn't be legislated. Period. That's a waste. a waste of all of our money and all of our time. And there are bigger issues in our country to deal with, much bigger issues. And this is just a way to get us not to think about it. You guys need to open your eyes. But anyway, on that, there's another one. Anybody want to talk about Ruby Frank? Like, let's just go from one dumpster fire to another. You ready?
Cool.
Here we go. Oh my God. This is deep. Well, actually, it's a little bit separate. I see Mousy had to drop too because of her internet. Yep. I'm telling you. And then Cass had to go because something, I always say in real life first. So family, things like that, you gotta do what you do. But Kim, you're right. Ruby Frank, those of you that don't know, Ruby Frank ran 8 Passengers. It's a family blogging website it was one of those ones that got attacked regularly by some of the YouTubers we know promoting and actually just using your children to make millions, whatever. Putting your kids' faces out there. They were accused of putting the faces out there. And we all know that there are some issues about whether or not that contributes to people taking those videos and those images and using them for for violent acts against children and to promote pornography and offenses against children in general. Right. And so a lot of the mommy family bloggers were coming under attack, and 8 Passengers specifically, because she was actually quite abusive and pretty weird about her tactics and what she said, like withholding food, starving kids. Like, she was out there with it. Mm-hmm. She also belongs to, she's a Latter-day Saint. I don't know if they have anything to say about it, but she started a new website recently and a YouTube channel called Connections with Jody Hillebrand, who's a therapist, who is not licensed, by the way, Kim. Not in 2012, licensed. She got it yanked for being unprofessional. Exactly. Okay, she's on the watch list. This is in Utah, right? I believe it's still in Utah. It is in Utah. And I'm not going to go against anybody's religious beliefs. They can believe what they want, but the torturing of children is one thing. And the reason we're talking about Ruby Franks is their 12-year-old, I believe it was son or daughter, climbed out a window to escape, ran to a neighbor's covered in lacerations and bruises with duct tape all over them that they had been tied up and bound. And the cops have arrested Ruby Frank at Jody Hildebrand's house. And they arrested Jody Hildebrand too.
Yes, they did.
So that tells me there was an ongoing investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Because why would they arrest her for the kid crawling out of the window, right? Like, there's a whole indictment ready, and it just happened yesterday. Well, so there's an indictment ready. They must have been.
I think we should probably not speculate on why they arrested her.
Well, they said all that will come up. Charged. Yeah, Jody Hillebrand has been also indicated in the abuse of the children.
Yeah,
actually, it does say that there are 6 charges.
And it could be that she's implicated because, as a therapist, there are laws that if you know something is occurring, you must report. Therapists must report. If she didn't report, knowing that what was going on, then she's implicated right away.
Absolutely. And the fact that they were doing a YouTube channel together and that they run Connections, which is also a business of taking care of to actually promote how to handle disruptive behavior in children and addicts, reforming. Okay. And it's probably based on some of the YouTube content and the advice they were giving and the things they were talking about. It was quite evident that Ruby Franks never held it back how she disciplines her children. There are videos of her in her vehicle saying, the school just called me and my child forgot the lunch. Damn, I'm not bringing it. She can starve and nobody better feed that kid. Like, literally told the universe. That doesn't sound so bad. I can actually hear people saying that, but actually believing that type of withdrawing of food as punishment seems to be a running theme in what they were promoting.
Yeah, that was the big thing, though, Claire, was that she specifically instructed the school, do not give her food.
Exactly. Let her go hungry. And she's put out just recently a video saying, the kids got up and they weren't willing to do their chores. So I'm not feeding anybody until all their chores are done and stuff. And like, I don't want to say that how your parent is like, there is there is open discretion on how people do things. But the violence and the condition they found these kids in, there are four underage children or six underage children in that house. All of them have been removed.
Yeah, all of
Two of them were covered with abrasions, cuts, bound marks. They had been tied up,
right.
and placed in places. And here's the thing: people have been trying to get CPS involved since 2005, and I'm not saying they weren't involved. Okay, they probably were, on and off. I don't think, but this has been going on for a long time. So to bring it up is more like in celebration that maybe somebody's finally going to do something about these. Her adult children on social media going, thank God those kids are finally safe.
They are.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were actually trying to get CPS involved.
Mm-hmm. And the sisters are also in social media with family blogging kind of channels.
Out.
They did speak out, but they did make one comment that I kind of have to agree with Charlie Penguin Zero, like Moist Critical. They did say for 3 years we've kept, yes, let's just say the word moist because it's what the fit. Yeah, I like the word moist actually. Nothing wrong with that word.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that word, people. I'm not throwing it at you to incite riot. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, Moist Critical said when he heard that statement, and I kind of agree, when they say something like, for 3 years we held our silence while we worked to try to resolve these. And I'm like, you had a platform. Your silence contributed to it. That just hits me the wrong way. Whatever you were doing behind the scenes, I support. I don't want to judge you too harshly, but you should have carefully crafted those words before you made that statement, because that sounds hell bad. And it sounds like, oh, you didn't want to embarrass her in public, or you didn't want to get called out. I don't know what. But for 3 years, to say you kept your silence while those kids suffered for 3 years, because they are minors, they're small. Were you waiting until they got old enough to leave like the others? Like what? 3 years you held your silence. That's 3 years of being bound, not fed, abrasions, cuts, tortured, who knows what. Like, come on. That didn't sit well. I hope they reformulate that statement and start telling people what they were actually doing behind the scenes. Because it sounds like they were fully aware of what was going on.
The wording was completely wrong on that. They should have phrased it differently, a little better, with a little more empathy.
Yeah. I would say, like, I kind of agree. I agree with that totally, Kim. Like, just reword it. Like, I don't want to come too hard on them because I want them to give testimony of what was going on.
I don't know what they had going on, who they were reaching out to or in contact. I don't know if maybe Ruby had shut them completely out and they were trying to get back in.
It is true. And some of that could be going on. I know the adult children were involved with getting CPS. But here's the problem. So many people were involved that Juju has a very good point here. There were actually YouTubers, some not so credible out there, trying to get people involved, even though it was an issue that people should have been involved, because that YouTuber is not very credible. Okay. It made problems with CPS. Not getting involved because of loons on the internet, filing false claims on the family. Exactly. You need evidence and proof. You actually need stuff. You can't just say, I think, I believe, I did.
No.
You got to get people involved, because if they go and investigate something you said and that just what you said isn't true, even if all this other shit is, if they don't see it, if they're not there, right? How are they going to keep going through? And you keep bombarding them with it. You have to be careful. So I understand it. It's a double-edged sword. We wanted more people involved. So many people were involved that it could have delayed it. It definitely could have delayed it. It gives them the opportunity to say, that's just YouTube coming after me because they don't like what I do. That's just, you know how that is. Those loons on YouTube, they think they know everything. You know, it gives them an avenue where people not involved with YouTube or not involved with watching what this woman did on YouTube or said. Like, if you're talking about a CPS worker, what are the chances that they knew who they were or what they have said or done? They're going to just look at the house. They're going to go to the school to see if the kid's participating. You know, we hope that it was a thorough investigation. We're going to see that the grades are okay, that they don't look malnourished, that they're clean, that they have a place to sleep. Okay. You know, that's their job. You know, they don't micromanage the whole thing. They spot check. Okay, there are not enough workers and not enough for them to do more. You know, they're supposed to be keeping track, but we find people falling through the cracks all the time. And unfortunately, she had not been charged all these years. And although there's many reports, Charlie showed one from 2005. You know, all the way back to then, where CPS was there
Oh yeah.
in investigating stuff that has been said. And they said that Paula says that there was a rumor that CPS went to the house 3 years ago and never even saw the children. But if they saw a clean house and the children's beds and everything, you know, that's going to be in the report and it's going to go in a little bit in their favor. Okay. And there's just like, I don't want to, you know, I don't really want to bash too hard on CPS because I realize how tough a job it is. But there are a lot of things falling through the crack. That's just the truth. And obviously, for these children, were through the crack quite a bit. Nobody was really protecting them. The people that did know about it should have had them removed from the house if they could. But I don't know what they were doing about it. I hope we're going to hear more that they were actively doing more than just, you know, good thoughts for the kids, you know, while we hope CPS does something.
Because I was thinking that Amanda Pants might come back for this story.
I saw that tweet, and she used to cover this quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
in her
she's
YouTube
in that
career,
work
yeah.
field. She does that work, so she can give us more of an insight on what the caseworkers might be thinking or doing.
I did always enjoy her content. She's very balanced. She's very reasonable.
Yes, I
she's very
miss
thorough.
hers. Yeah,
I do too.
She doesn't. She when she gets like on her soapbox, it's usually for a really good reason. She doesn't get angry.
Right.
She deals with the facts. I admire what she put out here on YouTube. I don't think she put anything bad out here not once. She didn't intentionally try to hurt anybody.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, and I admired her as a creator. So I do hope since she had done so much coverage on this, that she will come back and speak on this. If she does plan on coming back, which it sounds like she was waiting for a moment, that was right. This might be the moment. And I'd be happy to see her out there doing it. Really. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, that's
what welcomed.
Yes, because it just be nice to have like another nice place to go to have a nice conversation. And
there was always like a safe place there for opinion,
right?
Like whatever side you were on, it was a safe place for opinion. And you know that's how I roll, people. You know that I love those places. I try to promote that kind of place ourselves here for everyone. And so she's one of those that I would really support and look forward to her putting out more content on it, actually.
Yeah, when a certain creator came into her chat, she was very respectful.
She was.
Always. Oh, I wasn't. I told that creator to read the room. I kind of got famous.
I remember that.
Yeah. Because she kept arguing about something. I was like, would you read the room? Like, nobody's agreeing with you. Stop. Like, read the room.
Yeah.
Read the room, please. Yeah. Yeah, I don't cover that person very much, but that was a moment in time.
Yeah.
It was a moment in time for me out on YouTube. But yeah, I was just a mod then, I believe.
It would be nice to have her professional input.
Yeah, exactly. It would be
is.
nice.
It is, but it must also be difficult for her because she has to admit that the system fails. And she does that often. Like from being
she does.
Familiar. She says where and how, and this will be one of those cases that will probably, I have to give her good credit because it must weigh on you. This is quite personal.
Oh, it has to.
The ages of the children. You think of the grown children that have already gone through it, that you didn't get to help. They're out there now speaking on it. And it's got to be like double, like a double-edged sword. But I do hope she does. I'm with you guys. I hope she does. But that's it on Ruby Frank. That's a what the F that is so boxy. Just kind of also like the boat. Like we got a lot to say about it. And I never keep the conversations. I love when it goes where it goes.
Most likely will become a true crime thing.
I think it will if there is actual a legal case, but it would depend on who's covering it, whether I do. I'll tell you right now, if Amanda Pants comes back and covers it both legally and although I will leave it alone, I would leave it to her. I think she has much more experience on it and more credible things to say about it than I could. I would just be parroting her. You know what I mean?
Right.
So And I will never do that. Like if there's somebody out there doing it better, if I can't add to the story in my own way, I would leave it. I do hope she comes back to do it. Like,
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope
you
so
know.
too. Yeah, I think
But
it's been
I
a
do
long time.
know it needs to be talked about. So if she
Oh, it
doesn't,
does.
I probably would. But I will wait and see what Amanda does. And in all honesty, I'm just being honest with you guys. That's where I am with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do think she has a lot to add to the story, credibly, in personal perspective. That would be much more valuable than me just saying, "I wish Amanda was talking about this," right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
exactly. I wish somebody with the background was talking about this
I know.
because Mhm. Legally, though, it needs to be talked about how it got so long. I think that needs to be looked at. I would like to see that. So if it doesn't get talked about, I'm going to be looking at that part. Like, how did it take this long, and what were the problems, and how we can probably address that.
Yeah.
As voters voters do actually get to craft legislation. You know that, people, right?
Right.
It's our contact with our lower level officials in our states and our counties that started, that move things forward. Like, yeah. So I've never been one to say that one vote doesn't matter. Just like every vote does. You may not see it immediately, but every single one does somewhere down the line. Okay. You would think that if someone that is in that profession, that if they reported it, it would be looked into, knowing that the person knows how the system works. You would, if they did, if somebody you would think, and I don't know who in the system was, but I do know that her sisters are saying they knew what's been going on for at least 3 years. But like Charlie, Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, I don't know what to call him. Like, Mr.
I don't.
Moist.
You do have to say, when you say Charlie, you do have to bring up one of his
One
other
of
names,
the other,
because
yeah, because
people
you're gonna
were
think
talking about Charlie. Well,
yeah,
Charlie
my
Welch,
friend
and
Charlie Welch, right? And I don't usually refer to Charlie Welch as Moist. I will tell you that. Like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I mean, like, I don't talk like that to him. But I would say, let's just call him Mr. Moist then. When I say Charlie, Mr. Moist, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Moist
Right.
Critical, Penguin Zero, all
yeah,
those channels he goes by. For him to actually come out about it so disgusted, I would expect Mudahar, who's a no ordinary gamer, will also come out about it, and several other people. But for them to go back all the way to 2003, 2005, and find like CPS,
that was 18 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was when the adult children were in the house. Yeah.
That is just so crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So like there's a long history here, and I want to know what prevented charges every time, like all the way along. Like how this kept going. Like there has to be something. Did they move around? As far as I know, they stayed in Utah this whole time. Right?
Yeah, I
So
think they have only lived in Utah.
you know what, Aaron? This is something I would love to talk to people about, because I think YouTube ignores this a lot. How do you guys feel about this question? And thank you, Aaron, for bringing it up. They need to pass laws regarding children's rights to anonymity on the internet already.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it would be a safer environment for children in general, but how does that go when parents can let their kids have a YouTube channel at the age of 13 to play Minecraft or to stream Minecraft as a creator, or unboxing on toys like Mikey did, like the famous kid who became a millionaire.
Right.
And then there's the
Supposedly,
question
what
of
his parents say is because he came to them and they just did it because they were already both doing really good work before this. So they were already, I think the dad was an engineer and she was a science teacher. I'm not sure if she was like a professor or something. But I know they always said that he came to them and wanted to do it, and they've always said that if he ever said he wanted to stop, they will stop. So
exactly.
supposedly,
Well,
I
but
don't
if
know if
they
that's
put
real. Legend.
right, but if they legislate laws about YouTube anonymity and children, You
Yeah.
would need, that would mean that the family vloggers can no longer have their babies and their children doing cute stuff on the internet, and they're making millions. It's a big industry, and I would
Yeah.
guarantee that that industry would push back on Congress on anything
Oh,
like that.
There's a
yeah.
Okay.
lot of family
hmm
bloggers out there.
hmm
And they
So it's
some
like a
of them just
double-edged
keep
sword.
pumping out kids just to
Yeah.
keep like
hmm
like the whole what's her name? The one that did the adoption and then gave the kid back.
Mm.
Natalia Grace.
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm
Like
And
who does
there's
that?
so yeah. But there's so many. I mean, they even look at like, pageantry and things like that.
Uh-huh.
We've got things that go wrong. You look at the John Bonet case, beautiful child,
Yeah.
they're thinking, was it because she was involved in pageantry? Was it something involved with that whole industry in general, or just a pedophile type of act of not being able to control yourself? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it does bring out a big box of worms. There's so many sides of it. It would be really hard to legislate,
Yeah.
but we would hope that people would just like, we showed it once before. People putting their children up in cute positions, eating ice pops and stuff
Yes.
like that, and then looking
Yeah.
at the views. Do you really think that it's a person like you and I that are looking at that thinking it's
No,
so adorable when there's like 8 million views on it?
no,
I don't.
not at
And
all.
then those, I mean, so like what they do is you can't stop bad people from doing bad things, but they make the actual crimes of doing the bad things more embarrassing, get it out in the public. Now, if you're caught with that kind of stuff in a folder on your computer, you're going to get shamed. You're going to get charges on you. You're going to get prosecuted, and your name's going to be in a paper, and you're going to be on a list. They're trying
Right.
to deter people from doing it, but they're actually taking these pictures from actually family vloggers and stuff. Like, not everyone has the intent of putting it out there like that, but they are putting it out there for the intent, especially the TikTokers, of making the money on it right now. Some of them that are doing it, the positions they have these kids on, it's not to give the kid anything. They say it's like to make sure the kid has an education. I understand the monetary issues involved to where you want your child to have a good life, and it does take money to do that. I get that. Um, but you can't ignore the fact of what people are doing with those pictures, and that now those pictures
Oh,
are out there
yeah.
of your child, and your child is the one that has to deal with that at 18 and older. When that child
Yeah.
goes to university,
Yeah.
and it is a double-edged sword. It is. Yeah.
It was oh my goodness. It was comic that did that. He partnered with
He did it
what is
with the Dad's Challenge,
Uh-huh.
Illuminosity, the
oh that's right, yeah.
Glarer, and another couple that aren't really on the internet anymore, because of some other stuff that they did. But yeah, a whole group of them came out to expose how the ads and the views were contributing
I got the
to
link. Can I drop it?
childhood. Yeah, the hot childhood. Go ahead. You could put it down
Okay.
there. To childhood pornography in general, and how they were using the so-called innocent children family vloggers, to promote that, to get this done, and how you could actually prove it through the advertisement and through where all the pictures were going and stuff like that.
Right.
And so they were trying to do a common sense message of, please, like, look what we're doing and look what we're consuming. It looks innocent, and maybe the person doing it is innocent of actually promoting it, but it's being used in a different
Mhm.
way, and we can't contribute to that. Like, we have to find ways to stop that. Unfortunately, on YouTube, even talking about that subject will get your channel taken down.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can do that. You can do that kind of shit and not get your channel. But when you try to fight against it, you get your channel taken down. Like, which is ridiculous. Well, that's the risk. So a lot of people weren't doing it. Okay. There quite a few YouTubers left the platform because of it, because all their content was getting taken down when they were trying to speak out on it.
Yeah.
There were quite a few bigger people than that. Those are the people we know from our small community, okay, that actually joined together to do something about it, for a little period of time, and they are mostly all disbanded, I think, except for who's still doing content. The dad's podcast challenge, right? He's the only one
I
still
think
out there. And
so.
the Glarer, I think the
Yeah.
Glarer is still
Glare.
doing true crime. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yes.
but the rest, I don't see them anywhere.
Is he
No.
still around? I thought he was on and off, like back and forth.
We
But
see him occasionally. I
yeah.
don't see him doing as
Yeah,
much
not as
content.
much.
Yeah, the Dad Challenge podcast. Yeah, and they're still, he's still active. The Glare is not doing as much, but he's more true crime anyway. On
He is.
that, um, um, but it's sad because you try to do the right thing, and then the platforms are not exactly helping you either. That's been often on this platform. It's so hard to manage the terms of service that even though you're talking about something that's against terms of service, you will actually get down for being against terms of service, even though you're just trying
Right.
to point out that somebody else is doing it. You're not
Yeah.
doing it because you're promoting it or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, she does a lot too, Juju. There's an account, Radiant Brent. She's does a lot on it also.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, her Amanda Pants really good friends.
They were friends. Yes, they did a lot of
Yeah.
content together. Yes, that's how I met the other one through
Yeah.
like following the
Right.
other one's channel.
That's how I knew. That's how I met her.
I'll just
Yeah.
say you, but that was quite the turn, don't you think, Brother Bob? Like from Ruby Franks to child pornography and all of that. That was some. No, I got one more for you guys, and then I'm gonna like call it so that we don't go too long. But did anybody see the notice that Chris Chan got released?
I did.
Did not.
Can you believe it? Like I don't
I
know.
couldn't.
I can't believe people weren't talking about it out on the internet. We're talking about the most famous, like, publicly challenged person. Like, there's more
Yeah.
media commentary on Chris Chan than any other topic I could find. Chris Chan, when it comes to, like, he was harassed and horrific. Like, he's very, he, she, they, I don't know at this point, are so conflicted and so like ridiculous with everything that they were doing and just every kind of content
Oh,
they were
yeah.
putting out and what they were doing, that everybody from every genre in every community has talked about Chris Chan at one time on every platform. And yet he got released without charges. He's definitely more well documented than Andrew Tate, actually. But it's more like a comical kind of thing, except for when you think about some of the things he was accused of. But anyway,
Right.
there's no charges now about the violation, the relationship he had with his mom. I don't think he's allowed to be anywhere near his mom, but I have to look more specifically. I do
Yeah,
think
I
he
don't
was
think so
released.
either.
I think he
Yeah.
was released into a controlled environment. In other words, he has to live in one of those
Right.
halfway kind of houses. It's not jail, but it's not free. He is a vile individual in how he conducted themselves in a certain way. But yeah, Chris Chan is out and nobody's talking about it. And I want to know why. Like, why is nobody talking about it? I just like, I don't even see any memes. Can you people help me? Like,
Yeah, I haven't
nobody.
found anything really.
Why is there were more memes about Chris Chan and everything. I mean, even when we did the Sonic thing about him when he finally got arrested and everything, right? And he was going to go to trial, and we actually did either something on Mayhem or What the Fuckery about Chris Chan, and Quiz and Wrecker may remember. And maybe Mrs. Cassandra, you do too. We did a whole big thing about it, like his whole connection to the Sonic thing, all of the stuff he made and tried to promote, and how he just kept changing.
I just forgot, like, because it's been
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah, but actively his influence on, like, because he's like so into Sonic and stuff like that, some of the younger generation and everything, trying to protect them from people like Christian. He was definitely, as far as like all of those websites like 4chan and everything like that, there's tons of stuff out there on him about that. Whole big threads and everything of everything he did. He's the most documented, like where he pees, where he takes a walk, what he drank at Starbucks person I've ever seen. Like, totally. He was dogged like constantly. And yet
everything was very well documented.
Yeah. And yet he's been sitting in jail waiting on all of this stuff about like this investigation about him having an incestual relationship with his mother, who is granted not of her right mind, in that it may have been a non-consensual thing, because like, could she give consent?
Most
and now
likely.
the whole thing is disappeared.
Yeah, most likely it was not consent. Is what I mean. Like,
Right.
Like,
Well, you're
allegedly.
mm,
In my opinion.
I am not sure, Autistic Shield, which is why I'm going back and forth, and I'm going to choose to say they about Chris Chan, because I am not sure if they still identify as trans female or not. I know that they did not complete the whole process, and I do want to give respect to anybody who wants to pick a pronoun, but I have to say they at this point because I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't.
I will go back and forth from he, she, and they, because in Christians' own conversations, they have gone back and forth themselves, and even the reason for going forward to change into a female was to get close to females, in his own words, as when he was a he, said that. Okay, so now I'm saying they because I'm not sure anymore. Okay. Thank you, Aaron, for that. Red-handed, he said, did an in-depth on Chris Chan. Was that recently? I know they did something in the past. I'm not sure if they did something recently, because I would like to see something recent on what's going on with that. Because, like, for them just to drop that and walk away from it, like, what? Like, either the mother is giving testimony that everything was consensual, and they decided just to, like, it's not worth their effort to keep, like, prosecuting these people for being weird, but to protect each other from themselves, have separated them and made it part of the plea deal that they don't have anything to do with each other. You know. Well, But I don't know. But that was that on that. I think I'm going to call it now, unless you guys have anything else. Cass, what are you guys doing this week on Shenanigans?
We are thinking of doing Dirty Dancing trivia.
Dirty Dancing trivia? That sounds like fun.
You know,
Yeah.
Cass, I went to school with a cousin of Patrick Swayze.
Oh, did you?
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? So did you ever get to meet him?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school. He
That
took
is
us
so
all
cool.
bowling.
Oh, that is so cool.
That was when he was like really famous, though. You know, he was just getting started.
Yeah, that is.
But I'm sure he was gorgeous to look at.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, we know he was a good dancer.
Yeah.
I probably still have drool marks on the bowling alley.
It's permanent.
Okay, besides drooling over Patrick there, what do you got going on for your channel this upcoming, Kim? Anything with your art channel?
I have several videos to edit. I am also working on some different things, doing some plaster molding. That's a lot of fun. And tomorrow I am doing a pour over a pumpkin.
I can't wait to see that.
Canvas.
That's going to be so interesting.
The pumpkin will be art. The pumpkin will be art, and then the paint that flows off of the pumpkin will also become art on the canvas.
Oh, I see. So it's a twofer. So you get the colorful pumpkin plus the other. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So we'll have to check that out. And both of their channels are listed below. I will list Mousie's again. Mousie does the wonderful, she was up here earlier, and Mousie does fish tank content that is extraordinary. It's her hobby. It's adorable. I'm quite fascinated by the blue snails lately. They're beautiful. I'm just watching them like climb all over everything. It's quite relaxing. Yeah, it is. And I will be adding that link below, but if any of the mods want to drop Mousie's channel, that's great for right now. And Brother Bob, if it's the, do you think we might be able to coerce you in 2 weeks to join us for Mayhem with a sermon, or at least provide us with a sermon?
I
You
will
know,
definitely
that would be
get
great.
back on my Seminoles
Mm. It's
and ride it all the way here.
you talk like this. I swear to God, it's like Bear does porn. Like yeah, it's like I'm promoting porn out here with that voice of yours like that. It's like I keep thinking the scroll's gonna change at the bottom. Like I just I can't.
We could
It's
make
too
that happen if you'd
you're
like.
too sexy for the internet. What can I tell you? I didn't think I'd ever say that to anybody,
And
but
just
damn.
remember, all you hot, handsome men, come on down to Brother Bob's Church of Holy
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
and let us service you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Um, Aaron's reminding me that Chris Chan did officially change his name to Christine, so it's a she would be the proper to call him legally. Did change their name. So yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but with that fact in place, I guess she would be the proper pronoun. So thank you for that, Aaron. And he also said that Red Handed did release that Chris Chan thing on July 27th, so it's pretty new. So we should go check that out also. Thank you, Shil, for dropping Mouse's channel. Brother Bob, you have anything else you want to promote that's coming up or anything for any of your friends or yourself or, you know, maybe you want to.
No, I don't think so. And
Hmm?
except to wish once again that handsome young man named Jungkook a happy birthday and invite him to come see me down at the Church of Holy Love.
You know, just for you, I hope he does. I hope he gives in and comes and visits you one day. I know you'd be very, very happy. I think he would too, actually. Well, yeah, I do hope that happens for you. Well, I do hope to see you more in the Discord and more up here because it was very pleasant. So thank you very much to all of you who joined. Thank you, Brother Bob. Thank you, Cassandra. Always,
Yeah.
thank you for that wonderful opening and finishing my sentence. Thank you, Kim. It was nice to have you back. It's been a while. Missed
It
having you up
has.
here since our Black Mirror. We want to do something, more like that. Mousy, thank you for when you could join us. That was great. And for everybody else who wants to be a part of these open panels, hit me up. I will be back tomorrow because, the bear and the bee, we got like I don't know. We got nothing to say and like hours to do it. So come help
But
us
you
on
have
Sunday.
plenty to say.
We
But you guys
usually
have
do.
plenty to say.
Do you
Yeah.
think so? Yeah, we usually. I
Yeah,
think
you
that
have plenty to say.
we
It's not
do.
about nothing. It's
It's
about
it's
something.
about it's about everything. That's what I keep saying. It's like, we're just gonna talk about whatever, whatever. Well,
Yeah.
what it really means is we have no plan. We have no plan, but we definitely have plenty. we- I don't think you could shut either one of us up for very long about anything, actually. Well, hey, Aaron, nice to see you. We're just about signing off. You're just about going to hear. You're going to get to hear that great outro. You could dance at least a little bit.
You gotta
I
say
will be.
EKC because I'm like,
Why?
Aaron's been in the chat all night
Right?
when you said Aaron.
I know.
I
Well, there's
get so
Aaron.
confused.
No,
I
there's
know. I was a
Aaron,
little
and then there's
confused
Aaron.
too.
Like there's Aaron and Aaron. Like like
There's
they're
AA
different.
Ron.
Why do I
Yeah,
say
there
it
you
the
go.
same? Do I
AA
actually
Ron.
say it the same? Because I
Yes.
thought I was
It's
saying it. Okay.
Aaron. It all sounds the same to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I'm glad they're both here. It was kind of nice. It was really nice, actually, and not just kind of. So, on that, I think I'm going to say I will be back with True Crime. I'm thinking about a Monday, like doing, because I got some extra stuff to do. Would you like an extra one again this week on Monday? Hit the back of the video. See, I'm going to be clever and make you go comment on the back of the video and let me know. Because rather than do a poll, because I want to build up some engagement also, because it does help. It really does help to do that. And we should, comment on
Yeah,
everybody's videos if you go,
and keep an eye
even if it's
out
just,
for that pumpkin. I really want to know about that pumpkin. That's
yeah,
interesting.
that's definitely, yep. We got the
Thanks,
channel link
Cat.
below. Yep, down there. Okay. And on that, I'm going to say a good night to everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Bear and B. And then Monday and Tuesday, probably an evening one for True Crime. And then we'll be back next weekend with an Am I the Asshole with a special guest that I'll be putting up the promo for towards the end of the week. On that, thank you again. Cass, Kim,
Thank you for
Brother
having
Bob.
Thank you.
Just enjoy all of you so much. Thank you for tolerating our soapboxing as much as we did. I'm glad we get to have these conversations, and I'm glad all of you were here in the chat too. All right. On that, let's just dance our hells out of here. Anybody have anything
Thank
else to say before I
you.
push the button?
Nope, just thank you for
No.
having me. And it was good
Yeah,
talking.
thanks for
Have a
having
good
me.
night.
And here we
Bye.
go.
Oh my God.
Can I just unsee all of that?
Did you see what she did?
They really are an absolute
What the fuck?
Did she actually say that?
Did you see that?
What do you always see the damnedest things?
Exactly. When you least expect it, there they are, doing it again.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste it, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me.
I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row,
Did she
run it up when they hype
say
me.
that?
The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a name. I just wanna be famous. But I don't want that cheap fame, no, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness.
Did you see what she did? What the fuck?
That's what it's all about.
Fuckery.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste it, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me.
Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. I know I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster
Did
than
she actually
any crypto
say that?
hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic.
Oh, y'all, this is Hollywood Beast.
Did you see that?
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
It's brilliant. Fuckery.
Oh my God.
I got one thing to say. YouTube,